Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome. So I've decided to change things up a little bit and try and make these videos more like a video zine as such, where I'll be combining a lot of things like music reviews, live music reviews, and lots of little other like tidbits. Don't worry, I'm not going to stop reviewing music permanently. I'm just going to change things up a little bit because I felt it was time to do something like that. So bear with me, this is still like a work in progress, and if there's anything that's not working, do let me know in the comments section. Alright, well, let's get into it. This is a section called Song That I'm Digging at the moment. As you can guess from the title, that I'm probably just going to talk about a song that I'm really digging at the moment. It was initially going to be called Song of the Week, but I don't think I'll be doing these videos weekly, so it'd be a bit pointless. Anyway, I digress. The song that I'm going to be talking about is from a band that I've been eagerly awaiting new shit from, and that is from post-rock band Fvnerals, who have brought out a new album, well, bringing out a new album called Let the Earth Be Silent, and the single from that album they brought out is called For Horror Eats the Light. I really do like that title. It's everything that I could want from Fvnerals. It's fucking gloomy and atmospheric, and just the atmosphere of this song and, well, anything that Fvnerals puts out, it's so haunting. So yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of a clip from it, so hope you enjoy. So this is where I'm going to talk about the live music stuff and the gigs that I've been to recently, and there's two gigs that I want to talk about. So the first up was Cave In, which was at the end of October. I was really excited for this one because, you know, Cave In being one of my favourite bands of all time, and they were playing somewhere that wasn't London, which is no offence to London. Originally it was meant to be playing in the Manchester Gorilla venue, but for some reason, I think there was some logistical issues with Gorilla or something like that. It was moved to Club Academy, which isn't my favourite venue, but, you know, it's Cave In, and yeah. So supporting them was the band Stake, and I noticed they were played Arctangent earlier this year, and I missed them for some reason. But yeah, they were really decent. It was like noisy, sludgy with a bit of a post-hardcore edge. There was quite a few riffs from the songs that got me quite hooked, and I was like headbanging. And they seemed quite erratic in the punkish kind of sense. There was also a song about bananas that a lot of people were singing along to, and I felt like I was missing something out there. And the vocalist did a no-hander with his microphone when he was screaming. So yeah, they were enjoyable. So after making a beeline from the merch stand back to my spot, I did start to notice that it wasn't very packed out. It was quite quiet, which may be something to do with being a school night, and it was a bit of an early doors, early finish situation. But it picked up a little bit later, but not that much. So when they came on, they opened up with New Reality, the opening track from the new album they brought out this year called Heavy Pendulum. The set list was mainly new songs, which I didn't mind in the slightest because the new album Heavy Pendulum is absolutely incredible. Although they did break up the set list with some choicer older songs. Yeah, from Until Your Heart Stops, which was got me going, yes. And then a bit of a song that I didn't expect them to play was Joy Opposites from the album Antenna, and I was like going, yes, again. Also from the new album they played Reckoning, which was a treat to hear live, and that song gives me a lot of like Mark Lanegan vibes. There was also something a bit dickish from them. There was a slight tease with the song Shake My Blood, and I was like, oh, please play this song, because that's like one of my favourite songs on the last album they did after Heavy Pendulum, which was Final Transmission. But then they led into Blinded by a Blaze, which is a great song. Also, on a side note, it was funny, like, some shouted out 2 minutes to late night, and then I think it was like the new guy just went, yeah, I hate you too, which was funny. Though the best part was the encore, and they played Big Riff. So you know that meme with Vince McMahon, I think his name is, from WWE. I'm not really the biggest fan of wrestling, so feel free to correct me. You know, where it's like the stages of excitement, and then you know the last part of the meme where he's like, that was Big Riff for me, and also Sing My Loves from White Silence. So yes, watching Cave In again, it was fucking glorious, and they're playing Arctangent next year, so I'm hoping to go to there to watch them. So yes. So this isn't exactly a gig, it's a festival, but you know, I'm stretching the rules a little bit. I am talking about Damnation Festival at the beginning of this month. Oh boy, it was the stackiest of stacked lineups. I was literally not ready for it, but you know, I went. And I wasn't ready for the amount of 2 pints of Stella that I would drink. Oh boy, I was quite drunk. So what were my highlights? So, Full of Hell for an instance. Finally getting to fucking see him all the fucking yesterday set. And I even had the confidence to go in the pit and lose my fucking shit. Even with my bag and jacket on, I'm pretty sure I wound up a couple of people in the pit with that kind of combo. So yeah, next up, Pig Destroyer playing Prowler in the Yard in full. That was an experience for me, a great experience. Now, I didn't used to like Pig Destroyer back in the day. I wasn't a fan of like heavy music, as you probably well know if you watch this, and I wasn't too keen of grindcore at the time, but I revisited Prowler in the Yard like a few years ago, and I thought I've been missing out, so I'm glad I got to watch them, and they did not disappoint. It was fucking incredible. The pit was insane, and I was really glad to hear the creepy outro live as well. Another one, Wolves in the Throne Room. Now, I've seen these guys before, and the last time I saw them, the sound was a bit shit. But seeing them on the bigger stage, it just sounded absolutely epic and intense, and the sound was truly atmospheric. I was like, yes, I picked the right choice instead of going to watch Greenlung. So what else? Yeah, a band that surprised me. This was Insanity Alert. Thrashy municipal waste sounding band. Giant Pikachu jumped into the pit during the set. The songs were incredible, fast paced. I loved them. And the singer was well animated. He was like drawing signs and throwing them into the crowd. I think that was absolutely brilliant. Bands that were disappointed. Oh boy, this is going to be a bit of an awkward one. Brewe. Now, this is not because they're shit, far from it. As you know, I'm not very patient, and to be honest, they seem to take forever to do a sound check. Now, to be fair, when they did this at Arctangent, and they came on, the sound was incredible, so I'm guessing they're just perfectionists, and I'm just not very patient. And don't get me wrong, I really like Brewe, I really like their debut album, you should check it out. But you know me, I had a strict schedule and I left a bit early. And the next one is Pallbearer. I felt the sound was a bit pap for them on that stage, and I think they should have been on a bigger stage, to be honest. And I just sat down and I think I just lost interest. Oh, yeah, so to sum up, I feel that Damnation Festival at a bigger venue was great. I did have my reservations. I've been going to Damnation Festival when it's been hosted at Leeds for like a very long time, so it was weird to see it in my hometown. But the stages were really great, easy to get to, easy to navigate, and the merch tent outside was great. I understand that some of the feedback about it, that there wasn't much food vendors. I think I didn't see this because I just went, I think, at the right time. I think I was lucky in that regard, but apparently a lot of people didn't get food because it ran out. And I wish they had more Damnation beer. I think that sold out pretty quickly, and I wish they had other beer than Stella. And I think they had a couple of others, but it ran out. So, yeah. I can definitely see it getting bigger next year and the years to come. It's gone from a small cult festival to being one of the forefronts of the main metal festival circuit. So, kudos to them. So this is the Thoughts and Stuff page, which is just basically, as it says on the title, Thoughts and Stuff, where I give my opinions about things. It's not particularly about reviews and such like that. So I thought I would talk about the 2023 festival headliners, because quite a few of them have been announced over the past couple of weeks, and this is for like Download, Bloodstock, Desert Fest and Arctangent. So I thought I'd just give my opinions on these headliners that have been announced for the major festivals next year. And I just want to say these are just opinions, they're not facts. I'm not trying to be a dick or anything, just in case someone like takes it the wrong way. So I figured I'd start with Download first, which might seem a little bit more of the controversial one. So it was announced the other week to a mixed reception, and from the posts I've seen about it, not a lot of people are too happy about the headliners. I've seen one person compare it to 2006 Kerrang and then say utter tosh. Ouch. In my opinion, Download has always like played it safe in terms of the headliners. You're pretty sure you're gonna know what you're gonna get, especially like it's usually Def Leppard, Metallica, Rammstein. You know it's gonna be one of those headliners. And to be fair, I'm not particularly interested in Download that much anymore. And it isn't just the fact that you have to walk 25 minutes to the fucking arena. It's the fact that I feel like it's just a bit too in the middle for me, for like my music taste. Anyway, I digress. The lineup was actually leaked before the announcement. So the headliners are Slipknot, Metallica for 2 nights, and Bring Me the Horizon. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like I dislike any of these bands. I do like Metallica, I do like a bit of Slipknot. Hell, I don't mind Bring Me the Horizon that much. I used to listen to a bit of them back in the day. But I feel like giving 2 nights to Metallica is a bit of a cop-out in my opinion. Like, I get it, they're doing 2 different sets, but they could just done that on 1 night. And they're pretty much like on for like 2 to 3 hours anyway, so they could have just done 2 nights in 1 set. And I feel like, yeah, it is a bit of a cop-out, because they could have given that to someone else, like a band that I think deserve it a bit more. And I think Ghost could have been one of them headliners. They could have given it to them. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Ghost, but they do put on a really good show, and they are terrific live. And I think they're like headliners in waiting, so I think they could have just given them more of a chance. But to be fair, they have put Bring Me the Horizon on as a headliner, so that's a step in the right direction. But I feel like it's just them dipping the toe out when they could be like stepping the whole foot out and just changing it up just a little bit more. But like as many of the people on the Facebook page of Download say, don't like it, don't go, which is fair enough. But I will say kudos for them for putting Pupil Slicer on the bill. And if you're going to Download next year, do check out Pupil Slicer. So with Bloodstock, it's more or less old news, because it was announced a few months back. I think with the 2022 edition of Bloodstock, it was announced around then. So I know, yeah, they take a lot of punts with their headliners, which I am quite impressed about. They give like slightly smaller bands a chance to headline the stage. I know some of it does cause controversy though, especially with Parkway Drive. I know that was one of them. And I know the organiser, I think Vicky, is prone to a lot of controversy with some of her issues, which is, to be fair, for another video. So yeah, Killswitch Engage, Megadeth have been announced as the headliners so far, so that's pretty decent. I do like Killswitch Engage. If I do go, I'll be living my best 15 to 18-year-old self there. And Megadeth, they're a good band. So yeah, it looks pretty decent so far, and I've never actually been to Bloodstock before. Would you have it? Would you believe it? So, I don't know. Now with Desert Fest. Now, I do enjoy Desert Fest quite a bit. It's a really good festival, although it is quite expensive, with it being down in London, but it's usually a great mix of sludge, stoner, death metal, and all kind of weird psychedelic bands, which is definitely up my street. Though, I do hate to say it, but the headliners can be a bit of a revolving door of like the same headliners. Like they've had Sleep a few times, and Cadaver, and some other ones that I can't think of the top of my head. Though I'm not one to complain about this because some of the headliners are really interesting and you don't normally get to see them tour. So there's that. One of the headliners announced for Desert Fest is Uncle Acid, which, to be fair, nothing wrong with them. And it does prove my point of giving other bands a chance to headliner. But then again, I don't think they're really at a headliner stage. Like, I'm pretty sure they've been playing like the same songs over the past years that they've been touring. But I could be proved wrong. And then there's the usual suspects with Graveyard and Cadaver, which I think are the headliners as well. So yeah, I might need a little bit more convincing with Desert Fest. Though massive props for getting the Everest Queen included on the bill. Do check them out. So, potentially the dark horse of the festival lineups. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. So, Arctangent, potentially the dark horse of the festivals, as they're usually a bit more out there with their lineups. But anyway, the headliners not yet been properly announced at the time of recording and writing, apart from the Wednesday lineup, which was the best of 2022, which was an interesting choice. Though they did put out a teaser for the announcement, which all but confirmed that it was going to be Death Heaven, and a strong indication that they were going to play Sunbather in full at Arctangent. Though, if I was, so they haven't announced the headliners yet of Arctangent, but I'm going to put my predictions out there. I'm hoping it's going to be Botch. Probably, maybe hoping it will be Mars Volta. I can imagine a lot of fans would lose their shit over that if they announced Mars Volta as the headliner. Though, it could be Porcupine Tree as well. That could be a potential. So, the moment you've all been waiting for, I hope, and that is for the reviews. Now, I'm going to do a couple of reviews, 2 albums. Hopefully these are going to be a bit more succinct and straight to the point. And the first one I'm going to start off with is one that I'm definitely late to the party on, as it came out the end of September, and that is Autopsy with their latest album, Morbidity Triumphant, which came out, as I said, end of September through Peaceville Records. Better late than never, I guess. So, I'm going to start off with a little bit of bio about Autopsy, but I'm going to keep it very brief because I imagine a lot of you watching this probably know who Autopsy are. But anyway, here are the cliff notes. Autopsy are considered to be one of the pioneers of death doom and highly influential death metal band. They were formed in 1987 by Chris Reifert and Eric Cutler. They disbanded in 1995 and they reformed in 2009. Morbidity Triumph is their 9th studio album. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, what I liked. First things first is the album is straight to the point, wastes no time in getting things going. There's no atmospheric intro, there's just a fast pace of the opening riff from opening track Stab the Brain. There's no room for breathing here on this song. There's the breakneck tempo with the guitars and drumming, which are all set to pulverise the shit out of you. Though being death doom, there's definitely a lot of slow parts in this record, which you would expect from a band that are just downright nasty, and this definitely shows on songs like Final Frost. And what really shines on that song is the vocals from both Reifert and Cutler. There's like a low snarling growl and there's like a higher register scream that just adds to the icing of this very brutal cake. The one thing about this album that really stands out, however, is the consistency. I didn't feel like there was one song on this album that could have been, like, left on the cutting room floor. And the flow of the album didn't make me want to, like, skip a track or go, this is a dull song. It had the same energy, and while it definitely took a few listens to really delve in and appreciate it, it definitely gets you to listen to the album from start to finish. And also, I want to talk about the production and the way it was recorded. I felt like it had an ageless sound to it, like it could have been something from 30 years ago. I would have had no idea. It's just that raw sound to it, and it doesn't rely on production techniques to enhance the sound. It kind of had a similar vibe in production to Eternal Hails by Darkthrone. Okay, what I didn't like, or just like nitpicks like in my previous videos. I guess I felt like it didn't do anything really new, but I guess you don't really listen to Autopsy for that. You know what you're getting with this band. They're a band that have been pushing the boundaries sonically and decency. Like, look at the cover for Shit Fun. Ew. I feel like there's not much else to it. I feel like the band that can only just get heavier and heavier and heavier, but there's not doing much else. Which is fine, but if you were looking for something that was a bit of a game changer, I don't think you'll find it here, to be honest. So what were my standout songs on the album? Flesh Troon's Temple. I love the opening riff and the slowish burn at the start. And then there's this really thick riff and it just sounds menacing. And we haven't even got to the fast part of the song, and that's where it really rips up. And the standard fast song in an Autopsy album, Maggots in the Mirror, the shortest song on the album, definitely doesn't disappoint on the aggro, a slight leaning to thrash on the album with its tempo, absolutely punishing with its brutality. It feels like a Slayer song on steroids, especially with that solo towards the end. Overall, you know what you're getting with this record, and Autopsy do deliver a consistently great album, which is just the leanest of cuts and has no time for breathing room. If you're not being pummeled by fast riffs, your head is slowly banging away to the doom sections. While it may not be doing anything new, it's still a fantastic album. What I'm going to be doing is Chaos Over Cosmos, with their latest album called A Dream If There Ever Was One, which is the follow-up to Silver Lining Between the Stars. So you may or may not be aware that I've talked about these guys a couple of times. So for those who don't know, Chaos Over Cosmos are a technical progressive death metal project featuring two guys who you haven't met before, and they handle all the stuff like online. So yeah, featuring Rafał Bowman from Poland, who handles guitars, synths and drum programming, and Casey Lyon from America, who is handling the vocals. A Dream If There Ever Was One came out on the 9th of November. See, I am kind of current with my reviews. What I liked. So, after their previous releases, this album sees them get a little bit tighter and leaner, especially with the song Fire Eater. That's a heavy, fast tempo song straight from the get-go. You got the riff going light years ahead with the drums in tow, only to break it up a little bit with the synth parts. Also, the vocals are keeping up as well. Talking about the lyrics especially, there's a line that really stuck out for me. We are listening with nitroglycerin. I really like that line. While fast paced, there's moments where it slows down, but these parts are really brutal and they kind of a bit of an earworm for me throughout the song. The song does a really great job of keeping the listener on its toes throughout with the constant switch ups in tempo. The songs on the album feel much tighter as less time is given to noodling like on the previous records, and more to like the song structures. And I feel like the songwriting is getting much better, especially with the song Navigating by Moonlight. Don't get me wrong, as I said before, the noodling is still there, but I feel like it's a little bit more effective when it's condensed, in my opinion. Also like the inclusion of more clean vocals throughout the album, especially on the song Navigating by Moonlight. It just works really well. And they're also exploring the synth side of things, especially on Ebb and Flowers, which shows them experimenting different styles, and this is continued in the album outro, Melatonin. Okay, what I didn't like. Just a couple of things really, and these are just essentially nitpicking. Some of the vocals felt a little bit quiet in the mix and doesn't give the vocals the appreciation and the oomph they deserve, because I think they're great. And I felt in Mantra of Oppression, I felt like the noodling riff got a little bit too samey for me and just a little bit repetitive. Not to say that it was bad or anything, I just feel like it could have been implemented a little bit better. The rest of the song is great. Okay, so time for the standout songs. I've just got two, and that's Fire Eater and Navigating by Moonlight. I feel these songs are really strong and stand out with the heaviness and the use of hooks in their songs. Overall, I think Chaos Over Cosmos are getting much stronger in the songwriting department, and they know when to get tight and when to get loose. And with this album, they seem to branch out a little bit more with different sonic avenues, which I hope they do more in their next. So that was me changing things up in a big way for this video. I'm very curious to know what you might think about this new format. Please let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Like always, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It really helps out. I'm just going to quickly plug my socials while I'm here. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm including links to them in the description section, should you wish to give me a like and a follow. I'm also on Buy Me a Coffee as well, if you feel like throwing some chump change for the chump here. And that's it from me. I've been the dude who talks. You guys, as always, are fucking awesome. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.